The South China Sea is a flashpoint, a region where tensions simmer just beneath the surface, threatening to boil over at any moment. Here, national pride, energy security, and the lifeblood of global trade all collide in a complex and volatile mix. Every day, thousands of ships navigate these waters, carrying goods that fuel economies around the world. Beneath its waves lie vast reserves of oil and natural gas, resources that could power not just one, but several economies for generations to come. The promise of untapped energy draws the attention of nations near and far, each eager to secure their share. The Philippines and China are locked in a high-stakes contest, with Manila determined to defend its rights under international law, citing the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea as its legal foundation. Meanwhile, Beijing asserts sweeping historical claims, deploying Coast Guard and naval vessels to reinforce its presence and project power across the disputed waters. This isn't just about territory, it's about who will control the future of energy in Asia and who will shape the region's economic destiny. The outcome will affect millions of lives and the stability of the entire continent. As demand for energy surges and competition intensifies, the pressure on these disputed waters grows, raising the risk of miscalculation and open conflict between rival nations. The choices made now, whether through diplomacy, negotiation or confrontation, will determine if the South China Sea becomes a zone of cooperation, shared prosperity, or a dangerous arena of confrontation and rivalry. For both nations, the stakes are nothing less than sovereignty, security, and their place in the world. The world is watching, and the future of the South China Sea hangs in the balance. The Philippines faces a looming energy crisis as its main gas field, Malampaya, nears depletion. Without new sources, the country will be forced to import more expensive fuel, driving up costs for everyone. The Reed Bank, believed to hold even greater reserves, could be the answer. But it sits at the heart of the dispute with China, making exploration risky and uncertain. The nation's energy future and economic stability hangs in the balance. Accessing Reed Bank is not just a technical challenge, it's a geopolitical gamble. The Philippines must find a way to secure its resources without triggering a conflict it cannot win alone. China's claim to nearly the entire South China Sea is symbolized by its 9-dash line, a controversial demarcation that has been a point of contention for many years. This line is not just a boundary, but a representation of China's ambitions in the region. It is a sweeping boundary rooted in historical narratives, which China uses to justify its expansive claims, despite international disputes and legal challenges. To enforce this claim, Beijing has built artificial islands, transforming reefs into military outposts. These islands are equipped with runways, radar systems, and missile installations, showcasing China's determination to solidify its presence. Additionally, China has sent Coast Guard and militia fleets to patrol disputed waters, asserting its dominance through a constant maritime presence. China's energy needs drive its assertiveness. Control of the sea means security for its growing economy. The South China Sea is rich in resources, including oil and natural gas, which are crucial for China's continued economic expansion. These actions have created a new reality: intimidation and grey zone tactics that stop rivals short of open conflict. This strategy involves calculated maneuvers that push boundaries without crossing into outright warfare. Filipino vessels face constant harassment, making energy exploration nearly impossible. The presence of Chinese ships disrupts local fishing activities, affecting the livelihoods of many. China's strategy is clear: dominate the sea, deter challengers, and secure resources. Through military exercises and resource extraction, China reinforces its claims and deters other nations from challenging its authority. For the Philippines, this means its own waters are increasingly out of reach. The impact on local communities is profound, as access to traditional fishing grounds is restricted, leading to economic and social challenges. Reed Bank is now the epicenter of direct confrontation. Philippine attempts to explore for gas are routinely blocked by Chinese ships, which use aggressive maneuvers to force Filipino vessels to retreat. Coast Guard patrols face swarms of larger Chinese vessels, water cannons, and even lasers. The result? A dangerous stalemate that deters investment and keeps vital energy resources locked away. China's constant presence has made Reed Bank a no-go zone for the Philippines. This is not just a series of incidents, it's a calculated campaign to deny Manila its rights. In 2013, the Philippines took China to court, seeking clarity under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. The 2016 ruling was a landmark victory. The tribunal declared China's 9-dash line invalid and affirmed the Philippines' rights to the Reed Bank. International law was on Manila's side, but Beijing rejected the decision outright. China ignored the ruling, ramping up its activities and refusing to back down. The Philippines holds a powerful legal win, but lacks the means to enforce it. The result? A legal triumph with little impact on the ground. The energy riches remain out of reach, trapped by power politics. The standoff carries a steep price for the Philippines. Without Reed Bank, the country grows more dependent on costly fuel imports, raising electricity prices and slowing economic growth. Foreign investors are wary. No one wants to risk billions in a conflict zone. The South China Sea is a vital shipping lane. Any escalation could disrupt global trade. The Philippine military is stretched thin, facing a much stronger adversary. The dispute forces Manila to seek alliances, turning a resource issue into a regional security flashpoint. The longer the deadlock lasts, the greater the risk to both prosperity and peace. The Philippines isn't alone. Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia also face Chinese pressure in the South China Sea. Vietnam confronts China head-on, building up its navy and protesting publicly. Malaysia prefers quiet diplomacy, but is now speaking out more as tensions rise. Indonesia defends its fishing grounds with force, seizing illegal vessels while balancing ties with Beijing. Each country walks a tightrope, weighing economic ties against sovereignty. ASEAN's efforts to present a united front are hampered by internal divisions. The Philippines' mix of legal action, diplomacy and alliances makes it a regional test case. Joint development with China is often proposed as a solution. Share the resources, set aside the dispute. But for the Philippines, this raises constitutional and political red lines. Any deal that suggests shared ownership could violate national law and spark public outrage. Critics warn it would legitimize China's claims and undermine the 2016 legal victory. Talks have repeatedly stalled, with both sides unwilling to compromise on sovereignty. Unless a formula respects Philippine law and the tribunal ruling, joint development remains a political minefield. For now, cooperation is as elusive as the gas beneath the sea. The South China Sea energy battle is about more than just oil and gas. Beneath the surface, it's a struggle for control, influence, and the right to determine the region's future. The vast reserves here are valuable, but the stakes go far beyond resources. It's a test of sovereignty, national pride, and the very foundation of the rule of law in international waters. Each confrontation is a challenge to the established order and the principles that govern peaceful coexistence. For the Philippines, failure to secure Reed Bank could mean decades of dependency on foreign energy, lost economic growth, and missed opportunities for development. The livelihoods of countless Filipinos, from fishermen to energy workers, hang in the balance. Backing down would render its hard-won legal victory meaningless, undermining faith in international justice and emboldening powerful neighbors to ignore global norms. The outcome of this standoff will shape not just Manila's future, but the entire region's security order, influencing how Southeast Asian nations interact and resolve disputes for years to come. If China prevails by force, it sends a clear message that might trump law in Asia, setting a dangerous precedent for future conflicts and undermining the credibility of international agreements. But if the Philippines stands firm, it affirms that international rules and legal victories still matter, offering hope that smaller nations can defend their rights through diplomacy and law. The world is watching closely as both nations decide whether the South China Sea becomes a bridge for cooperation or a battleground for power. The choices made here will echo far beyond these waters, shaping the future of the global order.